Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Luna and I make Animal Crossing videos every single week. So if you're into fairycore, tropical core, and any decorating videos, maybe consider subscribing to join our little AC family. In our last video, we did the underwater sea castle. It turned out so beautiful. Honestly, I can't stop staring at it whenever I log into the game. If you're interested in how I created this, I'll leave a link to this video in the time cards on top and in the description below. I also created a poll asking you guys to vote on what you would like to see in today's video, and the majority of you voted for the rock garden, so that is what we will be working on today. So here is the area that we will be working on. This is one of the two larger sections that I have left to decorate, and I thought this area would be big enough to move all of my rocks here. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. I'm going to start off this build by creating a pathway using the waterscaping tool that will lead you right to the rock garden. I'm going to be creating a mini pathway and surround it with some ponds and little rivers on each side. I've done this before and I love doing this because, for one, I ran out of bridges, and two, it just makes the area feel more tropical when there's more water and ponds. So like I mentioned, this is one of the two larger sections that I have left on my island. So once this is finished, I only have one more section, and then I have some small little spaces and my beaches left, and we are completely done with this island. For the next video, I will most likely be doing the small spaces. I'm still trying to figure out what I should put in the bigger space, so in the meantime, I'll be decorating the smaller spaces while I figure that out. Also, when I was trying to move all of my rocks to this area, I ran into so many issues. I would have been done with this video a lot sooner, but I need to tell you guys what happened to me so that it won't happen to you guys. It's a long story, but you're gonna notice that my rocks were once on one side and then they end up moving to the center. I originally wanted the rocks to be more centered, so as soon as the path ended, I wanted the rocks to be right there in a circle. But once I got my 5th rock, when I was trying to get my 6th rock, it would not spawn. I researched everywhere. I went on Reddit. I even ChatGPT'd it to figure out why my rock wasn't spawning, because I was doing everything right. I gave myself enough space. I even blocked off all of these spaces that my rocks could possibly spawn on my island, and my island is mostly full, so there wasn't really anywhere else that my rocks can go except for this area. I saw this Reddit post that said that you can't have more than 4 rocks on a quadrant, but then I saw another Reddit post that said that that's a myth because they have all 6 rocks on one quadrant. So I decided to just move all of my rocks one space to the right. I ended up getting all of my rocks, but how I got here is a whole story, so get your snacks because this was a wild ride. And I didn't even keep my rocks on this side. I ended up moving it to the center. Before I get to the story, I want to show you guys how the pathway looks. And here's how the rocks look after I moved them to the center. Now for the story time. So when I moved all of my rocks over, I figured this would work because that would split up my rocks, putting 4 in one quadrant and then 2 in the other. So when I got to my 6th rock, it did not spawn at all. So I knew something was up because it didn't spawn when I had them in the center, and now it didn't spawn when I moved it over one quadrant. And then it slowly hit me that maybe I should check my island and make sure that I actually covered every space just in case. When I tell you that I got to my museum and I saw that rock just there, chilling in an empty space that I thought I filled in, just there mocking me. I was so mad when I saw that. I actually didn't even know when it got there. My theory is that it spawned the very first time when I had all of my rocks in the center, so I went crazy thinking I did something wrong when all along it was there by my museum. I was that mad that I actually went back and destroyed all of my rocks, and then I moved them back to the center where I actually wanted it to be in the first place, and then after that all of my rocks moved with no problems. So the lesson here is make sure you actually cover all of your island before you start moving your rocks. And the 4 rocks in one quadrant is a myth because all of my rocks right now are currently in one quadrant. I think that whoever came up with that idea that only 4 rocks per quadrant probably had either too many cliffs around or just way too many items, which makes the game think that the rock is already spawned there, even though you see that clearly there's no rock there. So if you're running into this issue, I would destroy everything that's around the area, move all of the rocks rocks there first and then terraform after. It's so much trouble just to move all your rocks in the first place, but it is so worth it once you have all of them in one space. For the center of the rocks, I always go for the Valiant statue. It is so beautiful, and also it has wings, so it's very fitting for Fairycore. But for this video, I wanted to switch it up a little bit, and I ended up going for the glowing moss pond, which I absolutely love here. I was debating on customizing it to the purple one, but with the purple one, the rocks were a little bit too dark and it didn't match as well as the original color did, so I just stayed with the original one. And then I'm going to surround the rocks with my favorite path, which is the magic path. I'll leave all of the codes that I used in this video in the description below. The only thing that I wish this creator created for the path is a single middle piece that you can use by itself. Here's a photo of what I mean. Because the creator didn't have this piece, I had to use the sides of the path, which doesn't look bad. It just has that harsh line, but I love the path so much that I don't care anymore. So for this area, I'm going for a more blue and purple look. So I'm going to be using more blue and purple flowers and bushes. I have so many of these bushes that I'm trying to use as many as I can for my island before I finish it. Speaking of finishing my island, I did get a couple of questions asking how I get my items so fast when I start a new island. And this is because I have one main switch that I use for everything. It literally has all of the DIY recipes and all of the items cataloged. I'm still working on getting all of the villager photos, but I do have all of the flowers and bushes that I need. And if I ever need something that I don't have, I just go to a treasure island on Twitter or X. And I also figured out a trick to get a 3-star island really fast. So restarting an island is pretty easy and fast. I'm pretty much almost done with this build. I'm just adding the log path and filling in the empty spaces. I did go back and add some star fragments. I used the Sagittarius one because the blue just goes so well here. So here's how the pathway ended up looking. I love how it turned out. It looks so good and very tropical and relaxing with all of the water. And before I created this, I added the shell bed on the left and it looks so good from up here. I didn't even realize it. And here is how the rock garden looks. I absolutely love this path here. It just goes so well with all of the rocks, and the glowing moss pond just tops off this whole build. I'm pretty sure if you added the Valiant statue here, it would also look super good. I'm so glad I went with the purple and blue theme for this section. It looks so good all together. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the build, the video, or found this helpful, let me know by hitting the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to join our little AC family. Also, if you want me to visit your island or help you fix it up, I created 2 forms that I will leave in the description below. So if you're interested, go ahead and fill them out. I'm going to be doing these about once or twice a month. Also, don't forget to have your post notifications on so you don't miss out on any future videos. I love you all so much. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!